Hi everyone, and welcome to the 50th episode of the Honeybee Nuts podcast channel. My name is Melissa, and I am coming to you from Springboro, Ohio, where I live with my husband, our 2 cats, and our dog Izzy. Today is Tuesday, July 9th, and I'm a few days late in recording because Jason and I were off for 5 days, and we were just really enjoying our time off, and I was getting lots and lots and lots of knitting done. You guys are a little crooked. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm outside today. It's a beautiful day out, and we cleaned off our deck a few weeks ago, so I decided to take advantage of the beautiful weather, and I've really been enjoying spending my time out here lately. I've been coming out in the mornings when I'm working from home and letting Izzy kind of roaming around while I eat my breakfast and go through my emails and start the day off. So today is the 50th episode, so I am celebrating. I've got some Capriccio white sangria instead of coffee today. It is almost 7 p.m. I think it's about 6:45 p.m. So I got off work, did some errands, did some dyeing, and I am ready to podcast. Oh, that's a big SV. Hang on. He stays in there and leaves me alone because I don't really want to deal with him today. So it's not even a bee. It almost looks like a wasp or a horsefly or something. I don't know. Anyway, pretend he's not there. I think he crawled up into my chair sitting next to me with my finished objects on it. Anyway, so anyway, yes, we are celebrating 50 episodes today. Turn you guys a little bit. Oh, that's good. So I'm gonna jump right in to finished objects. So my first finished object is some socks. Did you guys expect anything different? So these are my now I'm like terrified what's going on over there. So these socks are my London Bee Ridge socks by Knitting Expat, and they are knit out of the what is this? What colorway is? I think it's a Fizzing Whiz Bangs colorway from Teeny Button Studios. This was the full skein and the mini skein left over from my Teeny Button Studios advent calendar, and I just really love how these knit up. These have made me want to do more patterned socks, and I have a lot of sock yarn that isn't going to be used for shawls or sweaters or anything like that, and so I've decided I'm going to knit up a bunch of patterned socks for gifts and for myself. So these pair are for myself because I didn't think about doing gift socks until after I had already finished one foot. And on this pattern, you stop doing the, I think the bee just left. Anyway, so on this pattern, you stop doing the pattern all the way around when you get to the foot, so that the bumps are just on the top of the foot instead of the bottom. I guess I should show them this way. This bee is gonna kill me today. Anyway, so yeah, so I had already did 1 foot for my size, and nobody in my family has size 7.5 feet. I'm the only one. Actually, I think there might be one person. No, they're 7s. So anyway, these socks will be for me, which I'm extremely grateful for anyway, because I really love this colorway. And these are my sock blockers by Knitting Left, my honeybee on there. So with this, I have completed the Teeny Button Advent calendar completely, and I am in love with these. My next pair of socks that I'm going to make, of course, are going to be my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks for the month, which I still haven't picked out my colorway this month yet. I have been a little bit off my knitting schedule the last couple of days because I've been trying to finish up some old things, and there were some things that didn't go as planned, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But my next socks will be, of course, Desert Vista Dyeworks, and then the socks after that will be another pair of pattern socks. I'm not sure which pattern yet, but I do know the yarn I'm going to use is going to be my full skein from, which is a Very Merry Knit Miss from the advent calendars last year. So speaking of advent calendars, they are all in the shop right now, and there are limited quantities, and I have both Christmas advent calendars and I have a Halloween countdown mini set, and both are in the shop. I only have I think 16 spots open for each left, and I have both 10 and 20 grams on Queen and Sparkle and DK. So if you're interested in that, go check those out. But I'm excited to get through some of my advent calendar full skein yarn by knitting up some patterned socks for Christmas gifts. Okay, my next finished object, guys. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen this. I knit a scarf for Jason, and last time you saw it, I was knitting it in stockinette, and I had done 3 rows of garter, or 3 stitches of garter on either side of the scarf, hoping that that would prevent it from curling, and there was a little bit of curling as I was knitting it, but I thought it would block out, and I blocked it and it didn't. And so basically as soon as I took it off the blocking mats, it curled right back up. So I re-knit the entire scarf in garter. So I did do a bit of a texture pattern, which I'll talk about, but I've knit this scarf twice now. So I think I took it off the blocking mats Friday, and then I spent Saturday and Sunday re-knitting this. And I have to say that it gave, between this and my socks that I finished and my Whip It Thursday project, I finished all of those in the past 4 or 5 days. My shoulder was in so much pain. Like, I needed a big break, because I knit this scarf twice in 5 days. Well, not quite, because it had been like a quarter of the way done. But anyway, so here it is. It is done. Jason loves it. It's blocked and it is laying flat. So this will go to match his socks and his hat. And I did the same thing. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I did the same thing that I did with the Doctor Who scarf that I knit, where I when I'm on the wrong side and I had a color change, I actually purled that row instead of knitted it. So it's actually got some stockinette in here. And I did that so that you wouldn't see all the color change garter bumps, which is kind of hard to tell in this camera, but I promise you they're there. But anyway, Jason tried it on. It's the perfect length for him. He really likes it, and it matches well. So I guess all's well that ends well. It's not curling, and it's really soft and warm. So he is all set for his hat and scarf for the summer, or for the winter. So now all I need to do is make him a pair of gloves. Now he does work downtown, and he has to walk to his building from his car. And so when it gets really cold out, he definitely needs the warm things. So I'm working on knitting him all the knitwear to keep him warm. Also, sorry, I forget to stop talking when like a plane goes by or something, because I figured I'm outside recording. But also, we live a couple miles from a small airport, so we get a lot of like biplanes and things like that coming through here, and he's probably going to circle back to land, so I might have to do a little bit of editing. My last finished object I am so thrilled with. It is my poncho, my 14 karat poncho. So I'm going to stand up to show you how it looks on, and I just want to tell you guys before I do that this yarn is so incredibly soft. It's a little bit finicky to work with because it is cotton. When I say finicky, I just mean it's a little rough on my hands. But it's Kobasi by Haiku, so it's cotton bamboo silk. And so while it does have that kind of cotton feel, it also has silk in it to kind of soften it up. And I think the bamboo makes it really kind of like drapey, gives it a nice drape. wait for the plane to go by. Might as well drink some wine while we're doing it. Okay, so I'm gonna stand up now and show you what it looks like. So, here we go. I'll back up. So here it is. So it's really asymmetrical in all the places that matter. And this is gonna be really nice because we go to a lot of late summer, hang on. This is gonna be really nice. We go to a lot of like late summer, early fall festivals, and we typically go at nighttime when it gets a bit chilly. But during the day, it's like 90 to 100 degrees. And then when the sun sets, it drops down. So this is super like easy to like fold up really small, put it in a project bag and take with me, so that way when the temperature drops I can just throw this on, and it provides just that enough bit of warmth that I need over my shoulders so that I don't get too cold, and I love it so much. The construction is so incredibly easy. I'm gonna take it off now because I'm hot. But you knit it in a rectangle, and then at the end you do a vertical mattress stitch to seam it up the sides, which don't be afraid of the vertical mattress stitch. This is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see the seam very well, but it's incredibly easy, and you really can't mess it up. You can mess it up, but you can't tell that you messed it up. I messed this up several times when I was doing it, and like you can't tell. So you can see I just folded the rectangle in half, seamed up until there was about a 12-inch gap for where my head goes, and that's it. I highly, highly, highly recommend this pattern. It is a 2 sizes fits all pattern. So it's called 14 karat because you have 14 of these diamond shapes, diamond repeats that you do across the side as you're knitting. Now I did what I dubbed the 16 karat because I did the larger size, which is 2 extra repeats, but it's very customizable, so you can make it shorter or longer depending on how big you need it or how small you need it. So I do highly recommend this. It's by Michelle Hunter, Knit Pearl Hunter, and she has some video tutorials on YouTube for how to do the mattress stitch, so that's always helpful. Okay, I think that's it for finished objects. So this was my Whip It Thursday project, so I did go ahead before I came down and I pulled another whip out of the jar, and I was 100% honest. I just wanted to do it before I came down so that I could actually pull the project and bring it down with me to show you guys. And I pulled out I stuck the tag in here. I know normally I do it on camera and you guys really seem to like that, but this time I did it right before I came down so that I could actually show you a project instead of like pulling it and then going upstairs getting the project and coming back. So I pulled out my Eggsy socks, and the yarn that I'm using for these, and this is actually perfect because I can remember I said I'm going to make gift socks for Christmas this year. I can turn this into gift socks. So this is Annie yarn, and this is her Rose Garden colorway, and this is yarn that I got and when I used to subscribe way back in the day to Yarn Box, which I haven't done in forever, and this has just been tossed in project bag after project bag, so they're kind of a hot mess. The needles I'm using are actually, I didn't even know I had these. These are US ones, 2.5 millimeter, 40-inch cable knit picks. I didn't even know I had any knit pick sock needles, but apparently I do. This yarn is incredibly tangled, so you're gonna have to forgive the mess. I was gonna say that I'm not gonna rip these out and restart it, because what I've been doing with some of these projects that were just casted on is ripping them out and restarting it. And I was gonna say that I wasn't gonna do that. However, squirrels are playing. I think I'm gonna have to, because I messed up the cables, and I'm also not sure where I'm at in the cabling pattern. Yes, these are cabled socks. And there's 3 cables on each side of the sock, and they're 1-stitch cables. So they're not very fun to do. They take a lot of concentration and a lot of work. I don't know if you guys are seeing that or if the sun is blowing it out, but hopefully you guys can see that better than I can. That is the stitch pattern. And it actually looks like the cables are correct, and I don't see any mistakes. So right off the bat, I don't see any. So maybe I will just, you know what, I think I did rip these out and restart them already. I think that I had an issue with them, and so I restarted them. So I think these are ready to go. So I will just continue working on these, and they will be a pair of gift socks. And I really remember hating these when I was working on them and saying that I would never do a cable on a sock ever again. I will deal with that tangled mess of yarn in a minute, but so I have been dreading pulling these out, and in fact I think I pulled them out once and put them back because I was like, no, oh yeah, I did, because remember I pulled these out and I put it back in, and I pulled out the cable, or not the cable, the beaded lace shawl. So I pulled these out again, but they're just socks, so they shouldn't take me but a few weeks to do. And I can work on them on Sock Saturday too, not just Whip It Thursday, and Small Project Friday, really. So these should be done in no time. Hopefully, no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say hopefully by the next podcast, but I make no promises with that one. Before I get into whips, I want to show you a spinning finished object. It is Spinning Tuesday, so I'm hoping to spin after dinner this evening. And I have a finished object, and I did start something new, but I didn't bring the new one out with me to show. So this is what I finished. So this was the I guess you would call it a braid, but it wasn't braided. The fiber that I purchased at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and it's a gradient, and it's all spun up now. And I really love how it turned out. So you have like pink and white, and then pink and light gray, and then you have some like peachy pink and light gray, and then it goes light gray, medium gray, and then light gray, dark gray, until you get to like all black. So this will make a fun project, and I don't know what weight it is. I want to say it's sport again. I will say that when I was flying it, I don't know what was on my mind, but I obviously was watching something or not paying attention, because it is very loosely plied. Normally I like to have a little bit more twist in my yarn, but this one is definitely lacking some twist, but it's fine. It'll still knit up just fine, and it still looks gorgeous, so I'm not worried about trying to put it back on the wheel and putting more twist in it or anything. I think it'll turn out well, and I honestly think this would make a really cool like gradiated shawl of some sort, like either, what is that, semicircle, half circle shape, moon shape, I don't know, crescent shape, or a triangle. And I really want to start with I'm thinking the black at the top, and then working my way out to the hot pink, and just keep going until it's all used up. But we'll see. It'll be a while before I do that. Okay. I have 3 big whips that I want to show you. I'm gonna save this one till the end. So I have 2, last time I podcasted, I was getting ready to go to my friend's cast on party, and for her birthday, and what is it, apparently I just like to shove things and get the yarn tangled. And I also showed some purchases that I had made, and I showed you some stitch markers that I got from my friend Heather, which is handmade by Heather, by the way, on Etsy. And one of the stitch markers was on this skein of yarn, and I set it off to the side and completely forgot to show the skein of yarn. So when I purchased from Around the Table Yarns, I also purchased this skein of Query Fiber. It's the QUA is missing over here. Query Fiber in the Birdie Bots Every Flavored Beans colorway. And this is what it looks like caked up. My friend Laura from Crochet and Cuvian, hi Laura, I challenged her to try Magic Loop, because for me, Magic Loop saved my life when it comes to knitting socks. And she was like, but I love my DPNs. I'm like, okay, but you need to try Magic Loop. So she did. And in return, I said I would try 9-inch circulars again. I had tried them before and gave up after the cuff. So I was like, okay, I need to give them a shot past the cuff. So I casted these socks on, some 9-inch circulars. I don't even know. These are Chiagu 9-inch circulars, I think. Yeah. 2.5 millimeter. And I love the way the colorway is coming. I will say that because of the way I hold my yarn, I do like a modified flick with my right hand. It's not easy for me to knit with these. Because I typically, when I'm knitting my socks, I'm using the pad of my hand right here. The needle comes out far enough that I can use that as kind of like a lever. So it kind of like modifies flicking and lever knitting. And so it really controls and holds my needle for me when I'm knitting this way, so that I'm not kind of like fiddly with the needle or like taking my hand completely off the needle. It like holds it so I don't have to take my hand off. Well, because these needles are so short, only like 2 or 3 inches long, I would say 2 inches, it doesn't come to that pad of my hand right here. So there's nothing really stabilizing the needle for me when I remove these 2 fingers off to do my modified flick. And therefore the needle, it's a bit fiddly for me. Now, I won't say that I hate it. The more I use it, the faster I get at it. And I do like the idea of not having any ladders in my knitting, in my socks. But I promised that I would do a pair of socks on these, and I will. These will just be some fun socks that I add to my whip pile to pick up every now and again. But it's definitely not for me. It's not something that I'm going to continue to use. Outside of this pair of socks, I don't know that I'll ever cast on another pair on these again, just because for me Magic Loop is just so intuitive, and it's fast, and this is not like, I don't mind this, but I just don't see it as being a big enough a benefit for me to switch. We'll see if my ideas about this changes when I get done with this pair of socks. Maybe, who knows, maybe I'll like it better than Magic Loop, but right now I'm just not too big of a fan to keep going. But the yarn is gorgeous, and I'm excited to keep knitting on these. It'll be slow progress though. I don't know that I will pick these up again for a while. I'm gonna focus on some gift knitting and some whips, sock whips that I have, and of course those are Vista Dye Works, so you might not see these for a while. The bag, I can't remember who makes this bag, but I did purchase it from Around the Table Yarns. I don't know, it's their clamshell bag. Sailor Girl Fibers, maybe? Yeah. It's made by Sailor Girl Fibers, and I tried to look her up, the company up, when I bought this one, because I loved it so much, and I couldn't find, I think I found an Instagram account, but I didn't find like an Etsy or a shop or anything, so, but it's really well made, and I really love the bag, and it's quilted, and I may or may not have purchased another one. I'll show you in acquisitions. So there's that. So my second thing that I casted on for Kim's birthday, which again will just be added to my whips, and you probably won't see for another while, because I had no business casting on anything right now, but I wanted to because I was just in that mood and it was her birthday, and so I did, and I had new yarn. So I purchased some Superfine Yarn Co. yarn from Around the Table Yarns, and I think this is called, I don't remember which is which. I think this is Dreamboat. I'm not 100% sure though. I'm going to say that's Dreamboat. And then there is Arabella, which I want to say is maybe, I know this is probably wrong, so. Oops. Which one's this? Amorous. I'm going to say that the purple is Arabella. And then Amorous, I think, is this pink colorway. Pinkish purple. So, this is what I have done. I cast on the Oracle Shawl by Kristen Vollenvine. I know it's Vollenvine Yarns. I don't know what her last name is. I don't know if it's Vollenvine or not. Kristen Lehrer, Lehrer. You guys have seen this one, I'm sure. And it does have brioche in it. And I love it so far. So I have the first center section done, the first brioche section done. So first and second sections are done, and I'm working on the first lace section right now. And I think once this is blocked, this is just going to be a gorgeous shawl. And I can't wait to work on it more in about 2 years when everything else is finished. A lot of people had asked me if I cast on something new and it doesn't get worked on for a while and it becomes a languishing whip, does it get added to the Whip It Thursday jar? And the answer to that is no. The only thing that is in the Whip It Thursday jar are the whips that I had when I created the Whip It Thursday jar. Once that jar is emptied, I will start the process over again with whatever whips I have, with the hope that I have way less next time I start a Whip It Thursday jar than what I have now, to eventually the point where I don't have a need for a Whip It Thursday jar. I became a little crass on crazy and basically a really slutty knitter. Out of nowhere. I was very, very monogamous. I had projects lined up to go, but I didn't actually cast anything on until the first project was done. And then something happened a couple of years ago. I think it was about 3 years ago, and I just casted everything on and worked on it for 5 minutes and then casted something new on. So it got a little overwhelming. And I think the key for me is to have one of everything on the needles and be able to work on whatever, whenever. But when it got overwhelming was having more than one of everything on the needles. So that's the goal, is to get down to one of each type of project on the needles. One shawl, one sweater, one blanket, one sock, well, maybe a couple socks, one hat, whatever the case is. I really don't want to have 3 sweaters on the needles and 15 shawls and 10 pairs of socks. So that's what I'm working towards. All right, my last whip I got a lot of work done on, and I put out an Instagram post that I want to completely retract on this. So this is my Saturday morning sweater by Tristan Molina, and last time you guys saw it, it was right here, and I actually finished the body and started the sleeve. I'm not going to try it on because it's extremely hot out here, but so I made a lot of progress on this last couple weeks. Now, when I finished this, it was like 12:30 in the morning. 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning when I finished the body on the sweater. And I tried it on. I wasn't wearing a bra. I put it on over top of the, I was wearing, what do they call them? Jumpers, not jumpers. You know what I'm talking about. The one piece, like shorts and tank top, right? But it's all one piece. I don't remember what they're called right now. But anyway, that's what I was wearing. And so when I tried it on, it did not look flattering on me. I did knit it too long again. If you'll recall, I said with my Spellman sweater, I knit it way too big, and I was really frustrated by that. So there's a couple things I was frustrated with by this. A, it was too long. B, I still don't like this color change up here, even though people say they love it. Jason says they love it. I really am not a fan of it. I felt like this sweater was not good for my body type, because I just felt frumpy. That being said, the next morning when I woke up to all the beautiful comments from everybody, I looked at the picture again and I realized there were a couple things that I didn't take into consideration. A bra changes everything with garment wear, so putting on a bra and trying it on again did help a lot. And B, this is an oversized sweater for winter. It's not meant to be an oversized sweater to put over top of your tank top and shorts. It's meant to be worn with leggings and skinny jeans. And that being said, this is going to be perfect when I'm wearing leggings and skinny jeans. It's gonna look amazing. So so with all of that said, I did a lot of thinking. I thought about ripping it out to make it shorter. I thought, also the color change that I did, because I'm busty and wide both at the hips. So the best place for me to do this color change was right underneath my boobs. If I had a smaller bust, I think that also would have been the good place. I think if you're busty and you have a small waist, then the better place to do the color changes is around your waist. But I think if you have a larger waist than you do a bust, that's not the best place to do it, even if you do have large boobs. So had I ripped this back, I was going to rip back up to here. I was going to start completely over, alternate my skeins so that I didn't have this color change right here. And then I was going to do the color changes right underneath my bust. And I was going to knit it a bit shorter. That being said, I love this sweater the way it is. The color change doesn't bother me too much anymore. And I think it's going to look fantastic with leggings. So I am okay with how this is turning out. And I'm not ripping it out. I'm just going to keep going. And I might eventually make another one with the modifications that I just talked about. But for now, I like what it's doing. So that's what I'm going to stick with. So I do have about 3 more inches to do in this color on this sleeve. And then I've got to do the rest in this and then do the second sleeve. I probably won't get a whole lot of knitting done on this. I didn't work on it yesterday because I was working on finishing up those socks that you saw. So I really only have one more Monday to work on this before I podcast again. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it'll be done. Maybe not. Also, in case you were wondering, this colorway is my painted black colorway. The bottom portion, the top was a fluke, and it was what I would have called a second, because of the way it was dyed up. It took the dye differently. And I should have just kept it in my second bins as a clearance item. Instead, I was like, oh, I'll use it for my sweater. And I did, and it, I should have alternated the skeins, but this is what painted black should look like. And this is what it normally does look like when I dye it up. And then this is my signature colorway, this pink. And I will say the signature dyes up differently depending on the base. So this is the Aran weight base, so it dyes up kind of like a bright light pink, whereas on my fingering weight bases, it dyes up like a hot pink. I'm really bad about showing my project bags because for the most part I use fringe bags, but for these sweaters I've been using my bags by Awesome Granny. I'll show you. And this is my library bag that I love, and it's got like the typewriter print on the inside. Okay, so that is my last work in progress. I did dye up yarn to finish my Spellman pullover, or my Spellman sweater. So when I finish this, I'll go back to doing that before I cast on a new one. Okay, before I get into acquisitions, which I only have 2, I have some giveaway announcements. So The first giveaway is we finished the Honeybee Knits Q2 knit along. It just got really quiet out here. I'm sure all my neighbors can hear me, but whatever, I don't care. It's my business. But we finished up Honeybee Knits Q2. So before I announce the prizes for the 3 knit alongs, I will say this will be the last draw that I do where I pull both pattern prizes and package prizes. Most of the knit alongs I will do from now on will only have one winner, unless there is a knit along where there are a lot of participants. Like the sock knit along every month, we normally have at least 40 to 60 posts, and so if that continues to go strong, then I will do pattern prizes as well as a package prize. But ultimately, I have so many knit alongs going on that I've been tracking it for a few months now, and I am spending between $50 and $100 a month on giveaway prizes, and I can't afford that. So I will definitely gift patterns where I can. I will gift yarn where I can, and just to let you know, that didn't include the prize contents for the physical prize package. That was just shipping. Shipping and pattern cost was between $50 and $100 a month. So I am going to be doing a few less patterns from now on, but I'll still be doing at least one physical prize package per knit along. And if we have a lot of what do we call them, participants, if there are a lot of participants, I of course will do more pattern prizes then. But so back to business. So our Honeybee Knits Q2 prize knit along, which is if you knit anything that had my yarn in it, the prize package goes to my friend Connie, who is Merlin Magic 21. She's post number 24 or post number 4. Also, send me your address, send me what pattern you want for all of the prize winners as follows, you know, on Ravelry. I'm Melissa1308. The second winner is post number 9, Bork P, and the third winner is post number 14, The Knitted Lamb. So if you two could contact me with what pattern you would like, up to $7 US, I will gift that to you. And then Connie, send me your address. Same for the other knit along winners. Our June sock winners, the prize package goes to post number 28, which is, I believe it's Seymour Yarn. It's CMOHRYARN. So please send me your address. The pattern prize winners are post number 22, which is GST Martin, and post number 11, which is again Bork P. So you get 2 pattern prizes because you won 2 knit alongs. Our third prize, our third knit along prizes are for the Q2 Whip It Thursday Cal, and the prize winner for that is Liz Sigmund, post number 7, and the pattern prize winners are post number 3 and post number 8, which is Kaiden 1984 and Kim Geek 83. So if you guys could please contact me on Ravelry. I think most of you guys have won from me before, so you guys know what to do. I will gift those as soon as I can. Okay, time for acquisitions. So my first acquisition that I bought is this. So my friend Kim, who works at Around the Table Yarns, contacted me, and she was like, hey, by the way, they just got a bigger version of your bag. And I was like, sign me up. So this is what it looks like. Knitting is my bag. It says knitting is my bag instead of knitting is my jam. That's cute. But here it is, pink zipper, same fabric. It's got like this nice blue vinyl at the bottom, which I actually really like. And so more than likely, this is what is housing my Oracle shawl. All of this is probably going to get moved into this when I work on it next, if another project doesn't pick it up first. And then, let me open this up so I'm not being rude. Okay. And then my friend Agatha, she is a Magpie Knits on all the things, so Instagram and Etsy. Ravelry, Instagram, and Etsy of Magpie Knits, and she dyed up some yarn for my friend Kim. And my friend Kim used that yarn in a sweater, and then now she's making some socks out of it, and I was like, I need those socks. So I had her dye up a skein of those for me. It's so pretty. I'm gonna untwist it in a second. So this is like the perfect navy blue, and then this has like these bright pops of blue, and it has like purples and oranges and yellows in it. It's just really gorgeous, and it's so incredibly soft. I'm not sure what the fiber content is. I didn't pay attention. I think this is an 80/20. It looks like a 2-ply, but I'm not 100% sure. But what I'm gonna do is make, I should be able to get 3 pairs of socks out of these, 2 pairs of full socks for sure. So I'm gonna do, remember those pattern socks I was talking about for Christmas? So I'm going to do 1 pair with this as the contrasting cuff, heels, and toes, and then 1 pair with this as the contrasting cuff, heels, and toes, and make 2 pairs of socks for my family for Christmas. Possibly even a matching pair for one of the couples that I have to knit for. So this is the beautiful navy tonal, and then this is her beautiful speckled colorway, and I love this. I like it. Kind of reminds me of like graffiti, almost like a blue graffiti, but it's really pretty and beautiful, and I love it. And if you want to see how these knit up, go check out my friend Kim's page. She has added these in her sweater, and she's also knit some socks out of these, and I think she is either Cater Crochetables, or yeah, that's her official knitting page or crocheting page. But this is what they're gonna be like together, and they're beautiful, and I love them. So thank you so much, Agatha. And I'm not sure what she has in her shop right now, but I know that she is pretty good about taking custom orders as long as she has the yarn in stock. Because that's what happened with this. I was like, hey, can you dye me up some of those? Because I'm gonna need it. Okay, I think that's it. So we can review, I guess. I've been off work for 5 days. Today was my first day back, which was horrible, but I made it through it. We've been doing so much binge watching of TGV. It's ridiculous. I binge watch Outlander. I think I only have a few more episodes in season 4. But I had Outlander's one. This is my second break from it since I started watching it about a month ago. Like, I have to take breaks from it. Like, I watch a lot of it, and then I'm like, okay, I need a few days. Jason and I also watched all of Firefly, which isn't a lot because they only have 1 season. It was canceled after that. And we also watched the movie Serenity, which was like their wrap up of the season since it was canceled so suddenly. And we watched the new episodes of Stranger Things, which I won't give any spoilers, but I will say that I liked this season better than last season. I was a little worried because I had saw some negative things, but Jason and I both really loved it. There's my husband now. And what? What are you using? What am I using for what? Okay. A wine tumbler. And then we started watching Mad Men, which everything was fine up until we started watching that, because there was like 13 episodes of the other 2 series. I didn't realize that Mad Men is over and it has 90 episodes. So we are like 9 episodes in, 10 episodes in. And Jason loses interest really quick. So I'm trying to like get through them as fast as possible so that I don't have another series that I've started and never finished, like 24. Anyway. So that's pretty much it. I think we're getting ready to eat some dinner. Jason's getting himself a glass of wine. And then we're just going to relax for the rest of the evening because today was a rough one with going back to work. But I don't know how much I'll have knitting wise for the next episode because I still plan to podcast on Saturday a week from Saturday. So I only have about a week and a half of knitting left before that. But I will do what I can. Tonight, I might work on my sweater sleeve a little bit while I edit this podcast. And then once this is edited, if I get it edited tonight, if not, whenever I edit this, I'll work on that sweater. But otherwise, I will be spinning tonight, which I'm excited about because I love spinning. And I'm really excited to show you what I started to spin up last week. All right, that is it for me. I hope you guys had a wonderful couple weeks, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Bye.